Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Ricey, Lavelle, E. Neal, and Sid Hartman in the house. Let's start with the Minnesota Twins, Sid, because this was not a good. It hasn't been good since the All-Star break. They did make a trade at the deadline.
Well, like Patrick said, there weren't any real strong hitters available on lowly clubs that could give them some punch, but they can't score any runs now, and then the bullpen is terrible.
I got to add, though, before I forget, you were right this offseason. They should have tried to sign Nelson Cruz if they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
He's raking, man.
Well, the two guys that were here, one's with Toronto. He's hitting about .315 the last I looked. And then Morales with Kansas City. He's hitting better than anybody on the Twins staff, I think. So they let a lot of people go, but they can't score any runs. If Sano wouldn't have come up, they'd have lost 4 or 5 more games.
Well, Patrick, if Sano
I can't remember a big public outcry when they let Calabello go, but maybe I missed that.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, Chris Calabello, that's what he's talking about.
Morales, he could hit. They took him in a situation where he hadn't hit all year. But
they had Vargas, though. Don't forget, they thought Vargas and Danny Santana were going to have them do this, and both Vargas and Santana have done this.
Yes.
and one's at Double-A and one's at Triple-A, and that has set them back because they haven't recovered as far as having a DH presence. Although Sano looks like he could be a keeper.
They got
Santana's
lucky.
led to shortstop problems.
They got lucky, don't you think? They played over their head for 4 months and had people get interested.
Yep.
It could have been a disaster this year, and you play. That's what the Brewers did last year. They played great for 4. Well, these guys didn't play great, but they played good. And if you play good early, at least some people will go to the ball game. So they had that going for them. But they're not a good club.
I don't know how Molitor is going to piece together late inning situations now with this bullpen. I don't know who he can trust in the 7th inning or 8th inning. His 2 most reliable relievers right now may be Ryan O'Rourke and Trevor May.
I just don't want to say how disappointed were you. You're a beat writer. You're not a fan.
Right.
But that was the deal they ended up with was Jepson and Jepson only at the trade deadline.
I think they should have aimed. I thought they should have got someone with a higher caliber. Jepson could throw hard a little bit, but as we saw today, he's had problems with walking people. We looked at his numbers. He walks people. What happened today? 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. Walk 2, boom.
Here's what I think. I think it tells you there's not really in a market for Oswaldo Arcia that is going to give you a real player.
Right.
And probably not for Polanco either. I thought those were the 2 guys they might trade, and obviously there was nothing that tempted them for those 2.
If Sano hadn't come up, do you think they would have gone out and got a veteran DH kind of thing if Sano hadn't shown some signs?
It depends upon who would have given him anything.
Yeah, it depends on what the asking price would have been. Because I think everybody, when they talk to teams, Jose Barrios' name will come up, and other top prospects' names will come up, and the Twins weren't going to go there. So, they feel that this team's on the rise, and it's about 2016 more so than 2015.
Sid, you're shaking your head.
You talk about not depending on a bullpen. How about that Perkins? What's happened to him?
Perk today fell behind 3-0 to Nelson Cruz, who's hot as hell.
What the hell are you doing? Walk him.
And then that's the thing. Work around him and go after Cano, but for some reason they're worried about...
You've already worked around him. Throw ball 4.
They were worried about the guy on deck. And Perkins throws a fastball, and he says, I should have thrown a sinker. It might maybe make him hit the ball on the ground.
No, you should have went.
It should have just went on ahead and moved him on. And the guy's on fire right now.
Where's the manager?
I haven't seen a series like that.
Was the manager sleeping? Walk him.
And here's the other part with this team, the offense. From the beginning of Friday's game.
What are you worried about?
From the beginning of Friday's game, just shut up and listen. From the beginning of Friday's game through the 8th inning today, the Twins batted .094. 8 hits in 85 at-bats.
You got any stats to match that?
I don't know. I think Patrick has got the thing right in the head. I do think they have some good prospects on the team.
You do.
Who will be good in the future. Maybe next year, if they add a free agent who can drive in some runs, or if Buxton
is healthy.
Gets healthy, but the present you can't win scoring 1 run.
You said the other day on the radio that you thought they might trade Oasis, but they never traded him. Hey, see, yeah, I think even Arcia. They did not trade him.
Yeah, I don't know your name. What's your name? One thing about you, Maxie.
Here we go.
I listen to you on the radio all the time,
I'm wrong sometimes.
and you're not 100%. And if I'm
was still about this Lion
75%, I'm lucky.
I was
Who is
about that Lion
100%,
thing.
Sid? Who is 100%? No one's 100%.
Anyway, Patrick.
Ours, they need a catcher and a shortstop. They need a catcher and a shortstop during the off season. They don't have a catcher in the farm system. They don't have a shortstop in the farm
So,
system.
so
the thing
is that the message that was sent by sending 2 shortstops down?
Yeah, well, both those guys need work. Polanco, Polanco's bat is his big ticket. He looks like he could hit a little bit. Shortstop, he could probably barely play.
I really like Santana coming in on it.
He's got enough range and he has just enough arm. Santana, I think the problem with Santana is that he just gets down on himself when he makes mistakes, and I think it affects the other parts of his game.
All right, take a break, come back. Sid, you can't talk so much. Stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
All right, let's see. Oh, we got a problem, kid. Air handler blew the bearing. Down for the count. Bearing took the belt out, smoked the motor. Odor made the security guy smell something, not right. He calls me. Do I panic? Freak out? No. I call Granger. They got everything. What we need when we need it. It's always something. But Granger makes it easy. Can't beat easy, kid. Get it? Got it? Good.
Do you need a car but credit problems are holding you back? CarHop can help with as little as $99 down and fast approval. We understand buying a car is a big decision. With a 7-day money-back guarantee and an outstanding warranty, you know you've made the right choice. Fast approval and the peace of mind of a money-back guarantee and a great warranty. Call or visit carhop.com today.
CarHop, cars and credit to go. Cars and credit to go.
It is an entire transformation. It's like we have a new home.
Real customers share their stories about Empire today.
It's just that above and beyond that Empire is known for. The crew was professional. They were courteous. They worked so fast, but the quality is amazing. Empire's products are top-notch. The carpeting and the flooring, it's phenomenal. I'm so happy we selected Empire.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs, fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt, stop on by, say hi to Pat and the gang, check out his new artificial knee, and check out the chops and the steaks and the seafood on your way to a Twins game and much more. Yeah. Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt's downtown Minneapolis. The 1965 Twins were back this weekend, and it's always fun for me because I didn't really live through that. I just see the. By the way, I want to know how there's this beautiful color video of the World Series I've never seen before that Los Angeles must have some rights to, but that's beside the point. Who was your favorite player on the 1965 team?
I didn't even be on 65 player, maybe Bernie Allen.
Bernie
but
Allen?
I was amazed how well these guys, Patrick wrote a nice piece about Bernie Allen. He's a great story. But I was amazed how good, how healthy all those guys looked. I came over Friday night and spent quite a bit of time with them, talked to most of them, and I was just amazed about how healthy they all look. And all those guys got to be over 75.
Yeah, right in that range, yeah.
Well, if you're amazed, Sid, then they're looking pretty damn good. I went over and just hung out with them because Al Worthington's married to my cousin. So the only time I see my cousin, who went off
Big
to
Al.
Alabama years around, is when they come back. And they were back 10 years ago for the 2005 reunion. Then Al was on the top 50 players in 2010, and then. But yeah, they had a good old time. And as Cott said, I asked him about it, and he said, well, this is the last one, so we better enjoy it, because you're not, there.
And I gotta say, man, every time I sit and talk to him the other day, as concise of analytical conjecture, whatever you want to call it, as there is.
I got advice for Corey Provis, Dan Gladden, Bert Blyleven, even though he wasn't there, and Dick Bremer. Don't let him in the booth. Don't let him in the booth, because it makes you sound bad. He's so good.
Twins did a good job with that ceremony. They showed 2 videos, and introductions are great, and it was great to see a lot of those old timers. And Tony Oliva got the standing ovation at the end. It was really a good moment.
I got one last question, just as it always piques my interest.
Ask Sid, would you please?
Did Zoilo? No, I got to ask you this one.
No.
Did Zoilo take over the team that year? Was he the leader? Because he was.
I didn't
give
cover
me some
him.
He
perspective.
never took the team
I didn't
over.
cover him.
He won the MVP.
Did he dominate? Did he carry the team?
Zola was the MVP
Right.
that year. Zola came here. He lived with a friend of mine. He didn't have enough money to get an apartment.
And he was the MVP of the league?
Yeah, well, as it
but
turned
he
out,
came in 61.
he developed, but he had nothing. And he couldn't speak the language real good, but I'll tell you, he could play shortstop. If they could find the Zola Versailles, it sure would make a difference.
Yeah, but he hit for power, too, right? I mean, he wasn't just...
hit for power and...
Okay, what happened to his career after 65? How long did it play out for him?
Flamed out. He went.
They went great. 67 was their best team.
But Zoila was still good in 67?
Yeah, they traded him to the Dodgers for 68 season, I think. He went downhill fairly fast.
Okay.
But I looked him up. He had 780 plate appearances in 1965.
He didn't miss many games,
he played 159 games, and they won the division early. But the guy, I wasn't around, but Sid was. But a lot of people say Batty was the leader of that team. Batty was
you
the
keep
tough
hearing
guy.
his name
Batty
come up,
was
you
the
know?
tough guy that everybody rallied around. Earl Batty.
Was Earl Batty kind of the heart and soul of that team?
Earl Batty what?
Was he kind of the heart and soul and the leader of that team?
Well, he was one of the leaders. That was a team with a lot of leaders. They all could play. Every one of them could play. They didn't have a weakness. The first baseman was Mincher.
Yeah.
Second baseman, Allen. Shortstop for Sally. Third back, Kilbrew.
And Quillisi was...
Allison and Jimmy Hall and
Tony
Oliva.
That's a pretty good outfield.
Although Allen wasn't playing much that year because he got hurt, and Frank Willisi, Jerry Kindle, those guys played second.
I was sitting with Ralph Hawk one day in batting practice at Met Stadium, and Oliva was taking batting practice. And Hawk says, Sid, don't write this, but I'm going to tell you something. We got some great hitters, but nobody as good as Oliva. He says, look Look at the pitches he's hitting. They're in the ground. They're in the shoulder. Outside, inside, every place. He's the best hitter I've ever seen.
Lavelle, what's the buzz on Cuba as we open up trade relations? How's that going to impact baseball? What's the buzz inside?
Well, it's curious now because a lot of Cuban players are still signing for those huge contracts, those huge bonuses. Major League Baseball is going to have to corral that and get to see that those guys can qualify for a Major League draft or some other way of getting into the league.
They can't wait for the Cuban relations to be normal so they can put them in the international signing pool.
Yeah,
Perfect,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You won't have to do the same what you're doing.
Yeah, because these deals are ridiculous.
Are there some good,
Makata and all these guys.
Good shortstops in Cuba?
I would imagine.
I would say there's probably about 50.
I think you could go in Havana and throw a rock and hit one better than the Twins guy.
That's right.
Take a break, come back, stay with us in the sports show.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Schedule an appointment online for your spring car care special. Get an oil change, car wash, tire rotation, and $5 on your World Rewards card for only $39.95. While there, visit our convenience store or enjoy something from our Chevy grill.
Welcome back to the sports show. Sid Hartman, the Minnesota Vikings, as we moved down the menu, did a passing scrimmage last night. There were some receivers that looked pretty good.
Well, I'm just going by last year. Fusco, they thought, until he got hurt, was one of the best guards in the league. He missed most.
He only played 3 games, though.
Huh?
He only played, I think, 3 games.
3. Rudolph, at Notre Dame, they thought one of their all-time tight ends, he got hurt. They didn't have Peterson. They didn't have... Khalil took more crap from the media. When I talked to the doctors, they can't understand how he's playing. I mean, that's what the doctors were telling me. And the doctors that Mr. Burns, the genius here knows, told me that the guy shouldn't even be playing. He had 2 knee operations. All those guys are healthy. Barr, he broke in as a rookie, and he was outstanding. Then he got hurt. And apparently, Zimmer, the player he might be the most excited about, a new player, is Wallace. He just thinks he's going to add tremendous long...
Yeah, all that stuff matters, but what matters more is Teddy Bridgewater going this way.
Yeah. Well,
Patrick, you were down there too this week.
No, I was told last week I know less than nothing about the Vikings. So
oh, you can't. Yeah, that's
I got
right.
nothing to say. I got nothing to say. All I can say is from what I'm reading and hearing, if Mike Zimmer loses 3 games, he should be fired.
Exactly. That's what's
Which might be the great. They have, I read a story the other day, they have so damn many linebackers, they don't know what to do with them. They got, like hell, there'd be, teams are going to be calling us up begging to take some of our linebackers.
Don't forget.
I listen to you on the radio. You're very optimistic about them on the radio.
Me? I hardly mention them.
Yeah, messing them.
Hey, there's that one genius too that claimed that they had the best group of young players ever. The draft from last year was the
Look at
greatest
my
ever.
hair,
And
man.
they're gonna have
I
all
look
these
like
great
I
young kids.
There you go.
I look like I
Sid,
stuck my
man.
finger
That's
in
what
it.
happens when you're on Sid. It was fine when you came in here.
That's
It was
right.
flatter than flat when you came in.
Right, man, alive, straight
You-
up in
we
the
were
air.
down-
You know
So
what
you
you
had a
need?
chance to
You
talk-
got all the suits.
Yeah.
You got all the shoes.
Yeah.
All the ties, but you need a hairstylist.
That from Sid Hartman, who gets his done by Ray Charles.
He's still got hair, though. God
Yeah, that's right.
almighty, What a country.
You were, when we were down there, you did you did a one-on-one interview with Chad Greenway. What did he tell you?
Zimmer?
No, Chad Greenway.
The
Who-
guy that
you-
took
Chad
the $3 million
Greenway.
pay
Chad
cut.
Greenway?
You did a long interview with
Chad
him. What did he tell
Greenway's
you?
very optimistic.
Okay.
He thinks this is 209. Since 209, this
Brett
is
Favre year.
the best team they've had.
Okay.
Best personnel.
Okay, what did Adrian Peterson tell you?
Peterson, he's all
Optimistic
excited.
or not?
He won't talk. I did a good interview with him. He won't talk to anybody about his problems.
stuff, yeah.
But
The only thing
I,
he'll talk
I
about is
think
football. That's the rule.
I think the year out will help him. So we'll see what happens.
Lavelle?
I think the Vikings are going to have a good season. I think Bridgewater is definitely trending upward, and Zimmer knows defense. I think the Vikings are going to be a playoff threat. And everything I've read and seen and heard from you gentlemen support that. So
The Big Bad Bears or what?
we'll win 5
In
games.
transition?
5 games this year. 5. We're bad.
And even with a new coach?
Yeah, we're switching to a 3-4. Jared Allen is going to be a stand-up linebacker in a 3-4. That tells you where Bears football
Cutler
is.
got all the receivers to go down to Nashville and work with him, though. Cutler's committed. It's a new Cutler.
You know what? I write these stories every year in spring training. The player who's turning over a new leaf. That's always
The
a
guy
story of
with
spring
3
training and training camp.
DWIs who's never going to drink again. Huh?
The Bears, I don't think, have had worse management since the days of Muggsy Hells and Hells. I can't see them doing anything.
Okay, the Gophers had, they opened their media day is actually on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
How are we feeling right now?
All I can tell you is that Jerry Kill told me today this is the best team he's ever had. He thinks that they can compete with almost anybody defensively.
Defensively, right. Their defensive backs especially.
Offensively, time will tell.
Well, they want to see if Roderick Williams, they think he can be a Big Ten back.
They got a tough schedule.
I like that. Lavelle, you know, they're going to play top 2 teams in the country going into the season. I like playing TCU off the top.
I like it too. And based on what I've heard and read, the Gophers may have one of the best secondaries in the Big Ten this year.
They do.
Some of their returning talent.
And they got depth. They got about 6 guys.
They got depth too. So they got to replace Max Williams. It looks like they got
And
some
Damian
Weissman.
Wilson.
So it'll be interesting to see how the running game congeals. But it looks like it's going to be a good team. Another
Look
10-win
back
season.
1 year of what the national perception, for 1 year from today, look back at what the national perception of the Big Ten was and what it is now. With Harbaugh in the league and Ohio State, the defending national champion, and all of a sudden the Big Ten's the place gone from the 5th best conference in the country to the place to be.
Yeah, it's kind of cool having Harbaugh.
They will score the biggest upset in opening day by beating TCU.
That's the first prediction, right?
That's my prediction.
I'm going to have to go back and look up that column Sid wrote before the Nebraska game in '83.
Play Nebraska
He
here.
sensed, as I recall, he sensed an upset in that one, and we got edged 84-13.
But he had a good feeling going in.
We were going after him, baby. We're going to play defense.
And by the way,
Good blitz, right?
By the way, Appalachian State over Michigan, I think, is still the greatest opening weekend victory
His
of all time.
coaching staff can coach.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, they can coach. They got as fine a defensive coordinator as in the Big Ten, as fine of offensive coordinator in the Big Ten. The big thing, if Leitner has a good year, and I talked to the Paytons, and they said he rated with the top quarterbacks down there.
You talked to the Paytons?
Yeah.
Which one?
Archie.
What did he say? You mean the Mannings?
I got a good report from Archie Payton.
Archie Payton. Hey, let me say something.
Archie Manning.
There you go. Let me say something. This is the reason I got to retire. There's too much good news in this town.
I know.
I don't write success well. I write failure very well.
Let's go back to the Twins.
I need failure.
Let's go back to the Twins then.
Thank God the Twins are going in the tank and the Timberwolves are going to win 20 games again. Otherwise, I end up
Too much good news, but what'll happen at the end of the year, we haven't had any good news.
Yeah. Yeah, take a break, come back, finish up this edition of the Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law. For all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us. Edge Marketing and Promotional Products. From T-shirts to swag, featuring over 100,000 products. We can put your logo on anything. And Vincent's Limousine Service, serving your corporate and private transportation needs since 2005.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Visit Bob Weiss and the whole gang at Beacon Bank and live the American dream, because you got a dream. You just need the right partner. The right partner is Beacon Bank. It's my bank. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Golf kind of dominated over the weekend.
Can I say something? Troy Merritt, Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, Winona State.
Wins his Winona State, then he went out to Boise, wins his first tournament.
Explain that for people that didn't catch it today. Who is Troy Merritt?
Troy Merritt
he
moved here from Idaho. His sophomore year, was a good basketball player at Spring Lake Park, good golfer. Nobody recruited him. The only people who recruit him are MIAC schools. He went to Winona State, walked on, made the team. After 2 good years, he went out to Boise State and played well there, turned pro. He's been kicking around, but he's had a good year this year. He won today. I was out there today. Kenny Perry wins the 3M easy, and yesterday Lee Trevino put on the greatest show they've had out there in a long time. Well, he knocked one in from the middle of the fairway. He knocked one stiff, and he just had the crowd going crazy.
Nicholas was there. I'm surprised you didn't go out there and say hi.
Right, she's a big golf expert. He should take up the game again.
Nah, we're not going that far.
Have you stopped playing?
I am playing in the Mike Augustine Memorial tomorrow, where I play Mike Furmoil's T-ball 18 times.
You know that going in, huh? Move it down. We're to that last segment that everybody awaits every week. Sid, you get the last word. Look right at that camera.
The Gophers will upset TCU.
Wow.
You said that
That's
already.
it, huh? That's
Boy,
it.
I hope Coach Patterson doesn't hear that and get him fired up. Bulletin board material.
Last year's game went really well.
That's all I got to say.
That's all you got tonight?
That's all I got.
All right, that's Sid Hartman. This is the Sports Show.
Did you get hit today? Nobody hit you, right?
No violence today.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.